Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to RE with Janila B, Real Estate with Janila Brown. I am here today with the wonderful Vanda Crossley of This Is Us, Texas. She is going to share with us today about co-housing. And so, Vanda, we're really happy to have you with us today. So tell us about yourself first, and then we'll get into what is co-housing.
Well, thank you, Janila, for having me here. I'm always happy to talk about co-housing, but you asked a little bit about me. So I am a transplant to Texas from the northern states, Ohio, Illinois, but I've been down here almost 20 years on and off. The last 7 years have been straight Houston, Texas. I am a real estate entrepreneur, and so I'm getting into the development stage of real estate. And that led me to finding out about co-housing. And what co-housing is instead of us being in our community, cut off from, I mean, we have our neighbors, but we drive into our garage and we don't see them, we don't talk to them. Co-housing
Mm.
is where we all have our own private homes, but we share a community area called a common house. It's similar to, I was explaining this to somebody last night, like maybe an apartment complex down here in Houston. You know how we have our own separate units, but then we have a pool that we share. We have um, game room that we share. Some of them have theater rooms. Some of them have meeting rooms. They have a little coffee bar area. They have tennis courts. Play. All of that would be on this community, in this community. But what makes ours different is that we want ours to be in rural Houston, not inside the city.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
a co-housing agricultural neighborhood. We want to be able to grow our own vegetables, fruit, and teach our children and grandchildren, how to do those kind of things. I gotta drink some water. I'm getting hoarse.
No, no, and I love that you're saying break taking it out to the rural areas and teaching our kids how to grow plants, grow, take care of animals and farming and things like that, which we've really gotten away from those skills. So as you're looking at co-housing in that capacity, when I think co-housing, I think tiny homes. Is it all tiny homes? What is kind of your vision for what the community will look like and have?
Well, I do want to have some tiny homes there. I don't want to live in a tiny home. Let's be I don't want to live in a tiny home. But there are some people who do want to live in tiny homes. And when you think about it, when you go on vacation and you're in a hotel room, what are you really in? You're
Mhm.
you may have a suite where you have a living room,
Mhm.
but you're basically just in there to sleep, change clothes, shower, and get outside. So we want to have some tiny homes there. We will also want to have some RVs there. We want to have an RV storage. We want to have an RV park. We want to have glamping sites where we have some glamorous yurts and things like that, where we, people that love the outdoors can, look at the Texas moon and the stars at night. And you can't see all of that when you're in the city because of all the lights. So it's basically for people that want to live and be out in the in the country. So whether you want to live there with us, we are seeking people that want to invest with us and live there with us. But you may just want to invest with us as a getaway or family retreat place. And that's something that we're encouraging families to get together and purchase something like that. So maybe 3 months out the year, the brother's here with his family, and another
Mhm.
2 months you rent it out for Airbnb, maybe. The other months, a sister may have the place. So it could be various things. We're looking at 47 acres. So with 47 acres, the sky's the limit. Whatever we dream, we can have there. So we could have
Absolutely.
uh, 7, 8 bedroom home built there for one family or for multiple families. We can have what we want. So we're starting with ground zero. We don't have the land yet, but we are in, conversations with the owner of it. So hopefully it'll be coming in the next few months.
Gotcha, gotcha. And I know when we talked, you talked about like even having like charging stations and the sustainability of the community. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Well, my son is a big Tesla fan. We drive a Tesla and we want to have sustainable community. So we plan on putting solar on every home there. And we want to also have mixed use. So we want to have some businesses there, like a nail salon, beauty shop, spa, cigar lounge, wine bar, restaurants, and all of these will be solar powered. So that is the plan. And if you know anybody that has any of those businesses that want to build with us, reach out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Y'all heard it. So if you are one of those businesses, definitely reach out. Vanda will give her contact information towards the end. So Vanda, why did you want to? What has you interested in co-housing, living in that type of community? Why is that of interest to you?
Well, I've always lived with my family. Um, I grew up with my grandmother. She lived on the second floor, and I was in Dayton, Ohio. We lived on the first floor. We had a basement. My parents would sometimes rent out the basement to people. My grandmother lived upstairs. And then my other grandmother, who lived in Cincinnati, she always lived with her daughter and granddaughter and husband. So it's always been like family just takes care of family. So during COVID, we're living in a multi-generational family. My 85-year-old, she just turned 85 on the 19th.
Oh, that's a blessing.
Mother-in-law lives with us, along with two adult children and a grandchild. So we have a multi-generational household. So we were fine during the pandemic. We weren't, lonely. We had each other. We'd go to our room if we didn't want to be bothered. But
Mhm.
talking to a lot of people was just lonely being cut off. And so loneliness is like become an epidemic for a lot of people. And so I hear people saying, I wish my family was closer, or I wish I had kids, or I wish I had a husband who's going to take care of me when I get older. So we just thought we should band together to help take care of each other in a community environment. And I just don't want to live in the city. I want to live out in the country. I went out, took my family out to a ranch out in Huntsville, and we had such a good time out there. And it's like, yeah, this is how we should be living,
Yeah.
not in a concrete jungle.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that. I think we've definitely gotten away from that. And it sounds like co-housing allows you to build a family. If you feel like you don't have that connectivity with your own, you can come and be part of not just neighbors, but family. And that's building a community that is priceless, right? To have that, to know that your neighbors, your family, they got your back. They're there to help you, take care of you. And then with the businesses that you're going to have on the property, on site, right, to service the community, I definitely think that's a win-win. And I love that. That's beautiful.
And we want the business owners to also live there. So we don't want them to just come set up shop and then drive back to the city. No, you're going to live there and be a part of the community as well. So that's kind of business within, internal business, because we're going to support each other. And
Yes.
so it's not limited to just the ones I named. So if there's a, doctor, therapist, or any other business, I have a lady that's a hemp grower, and she wants to be a part of the community. Um, so just the ones I named, there's just some of that I can think of off the top of my head. But anybody that has a business that's going to need other people to support it, we're all for it. And we will all know each other, like each other, and socialize with each other.
Yeah. Yeah. so I was born in a small town. My family's from a very small town. And it sounds like it's just going back to that feel of getting away from the city, being in a small town that really allows you to know who's around you, right? To know people by name and have a lot of friendly faces. And I like that. I agree. Having the businesses there, they're not popping in, but they are a part of the community, servicing the community. As I truly feel we're probably going to get back into the bartering days where, hey, you've got this service, I'll provide you this service if you can provide me this service that you have. And I think that's just a very harmonious way of living. So I love this. I love this. So you talked about people can be a part of the community as an investor if they don't want to live in the community, but they could invest in the community and rent out units. How does one become an investor for this community?
We haven't got to that part yet because first we got to get the land. So once we get that part, we're trying not to put the, horse before the cart. So we have not got to that part yet. So I can't give you any specifics. We do have a website where if you're interested, we can put you on our newsletter mailing list, and it's called thisisustx.com. This is
Got it.
us.com.
Perfect, perfect. This is ustexas.com. If you're interested in investing, that's where you're going to sign up for the newsletter so you can stay informed. So when those opportunities are available, you're the first to know, to be in the know and get in on the ground up. That's very, very exciting. So wonderful, wonderful, Vanda. Is there anything else you would like to share about co-housing?
Well, I'd like to ask you a question.
Sure.
So you do, is it breathing?
Yes.
Breathing, what do you call it?
So I host breathing sessions. It's a breathing experience where I am a counselor. So what we do is we really promote breathing on all levels, just to be able to calm down, really get your body back regulated because we don't realize that when we are angry, frustrated, stressed out, we do kind of stop breathing. We don't realize we're holding our breath because we're so tense, but that's what's happening. And so it's just bringing people, reminding them of the breathing techniques that really help you to be present in the moment, regain focus, and to think more clearly. If your brain is not getting oxygen, you're not thinking clearly, which causes you to maybe say something you shouldn't say or do something that you shouldn't do. So, yeah, we host these sessions. They're about an hour long. They're kind of pop up events right now. But, to your point of being able to, have a dedicated space to come and provide these sessions to a community, that's what we're looking to do because it's necessary. People need to relax, to de-stress, and that's why I wanted to hear more about this co-housing because it just sounds like it almost sounds like a utopian place, but it is somewhere where you can do all of that and really, again, have community, but be in a more peaceful place, not have to deal with the traffic and commuting and all the things that are really stressors,
Yeah.
right? So and so cut me off. Now I'm all tense driving, all of those things. So I think it's a wonderful thing. But yeah, I definitely love hosting the breathing sessions because they have really been able to set people free from a lot of the chains and the ties and we bring in the spiritual aspect because it's not just breathing and meditating to clear our minds, it's meditating on the word of God, so we are um, breathing and praying at the same time, right? And just allowing God to do what He's going to do in our lives. So it's a beautiful time. It's really awesome.
I love
So
that.
thank you for asking.
You definitely will be coming out to be a part of our community because we definitely will need that. whether
Yes.
you're an investor or whether you're an owner, but that is something that we're looking to have, the yoga, the spa field, the relaxation. Um, I'm retirement age, so I'm trying to do all of the retirement things, like one of the people, he wants a tennis court there, and somebody else wants some pickleball, and I gotta have a swimming pool, and some of those things that retired people do. This is what they do. They socialize, they have fun, they exercise, as well as younger people do the same thing. So
Absolutely, absolutely. I think gone is the day of retiring to do nothing. Like people want to retire and be active, right? They don't want to feel like, okay, well, that was it. I've lived my life. I'll just go sit somewhere. No, like your life is what you make it. So even though you've retired maybe from a 9 to 5 job, maybe you've retired and handed over your business, whatever that looks like for you, whatever you consider retirement, right? I don't think it's not the end of your life. Like it's still, you still got more living to do. And what a great way to live it and stay active, right? And then imagine, someone who is of retirement age who doesn't have family. Maybe they never had children. Maybe, their family, they're the only surviving member of their family, right? They can come into this co-housing community and find family, find, surrogate grandkids, right? You're around atmosphere of people that just keep you living, you
but
know?
the last thing I want to do is be around a bunch of old people who talk about their aches and pains and what they can't do anymore and remember when. I don't want to be around that. I want to be around younger people talking about, their plans and vision. And then whatever knowledge I have, I want to be able to share it with them so that, because when I die off, my knowledge dies with me unless I share it with somebody else.
Right.
So if I find a younger person that's interested, which is why I love mentoring, if I find a younger person that's interested in what I'm doing, I'm gonna share that knowledge, and that way I live on through that. And so there's a lot
Yes.
of old people that feel, okay, I'm not working now, I'm useless, but they can give back with educating the younger people about their profession, their knowledge, and things like that. And we want to have an atmosphere of that. I've talked to two people in the last week. They're both builders, and they want to teach younger people how to build things, how to build a house, how to build. And I'm like, well, that'd be perfect for our community because we're going to need to build them. So
Yes.
match made in
That's what I
heaven.
was That's what I was just picturing in my head. Like, imagine, side by side, people working together to build, to construct, to teach. So you're talking about farming, right? Like, who's got the green thumb, right? I'm imagining these older generations gathering the younger generations and teaching them. And even so, I firmly believe that the young have something to teach as well.
I
So
was
I
going to
imagine
say, and
young
vice
people
versa.
like, oh no, YouTube says you should do it like this.
They weren't doing hydroponics back in the 1940s and 50s, I don't think. I don't know. But they're doing it now. So when we talk about
Right.
growing vegetables and fruit, we're not talking about digging a hole in the ground and putting the seed in there. That's old
Right.
school way of doing it. We're talking
Uh-huh.
about the more modern way of growing fruits and
Yes.
vegetables up a wall in a greenhouse, so you can walk through and pick, and older people can, show younger people, and younger people can show older people.
Right. Because how do you know when the fruit is ripe? How do you like all of those? It all plays a part, right? So even though we're using modern technology, you still got to be able to assess like, is this good? Is this quality? Does it need to sit a little bit longer? When's picking time? Harvest, it's still a thing. So I love that. I love that. Sharing knowledge more than just space, sharing a knowledge and information. Because yeah, your legacy is only as good as what you have shared and left behind. And truly, we think legacy, wealth building, right? Wealth planning, we think it all has to do with money. But legacy is so much more than that. It is really about character, who you are, what you embodied while you were living, and what you passed on for generations to have. So I love that.
My goal is to pass on this project to my children and my grandchildren. So hopefully it's done before I pass on, but if not, I'm going to pass it on to them. But they at least have a place to sleep and eat, which is two of the necessities of life, food and shelter. So they have land, they can grow their food, they have a place to sleep, and
Mhm.
hopefully they'll generate income as well to be able to sustain all of that. So that's
Absolutely.
that's what that's my legacy.
Absolutely, absolutely, because God has put us here to be producers. And in a community like that, you really get the opportunity to produce, right? And use your skills and talents because that's all you got in that space, right? Is utilizing your gifts, your talents for the benefit of others. And that's how it should be, right? To bless others with what we have and what God has given us. I love it. I love it.
One person needs something, like say to start the nail salon business, the members can help fund that project, and keep it going, keep it internally. We don't have to go to the big bank for that. We can use the money, the resources that we have within our own community.
Got it. Got it. So do you feel like that would be creating a basically a community banking system? And having that understanding that we are pooling funds, some portion of community funds
Yeah.
for something like that.
Yeah, it could be like a credit union. Isn't that what a credit union is? They're member based. You have to be a member of the credit union. So you have to be a member of This Is Us TX to reap the benefits of what we're doing.
Gotcha, gotcha. So that makes sense. Keeping the funds within the community to be able to sustain the community, and
Mhm.
no one's lacking in
Right.
that environment.
We all help each other out. And as we get older, we have our own maybe nurses, doctors within the community as well to look after each other.
Perfect, perfect. Is there anything else you would like to share about co-housing? I know we covered a great bit, but anything else?
Well, I've never ventured down this path before, so I don't know everything. I have been in touch with Co-Housing Houston, and there's a co-housing association as well. But if there's any resources out there that we can draw on, I'm open to suggestions to make this happen, um, and just need some help along the way. It's going to get done one way or the other, either the short route or the long route. I prefer the short route.
I love it. I love it. And I definitely think people are going to watch this and see, go to your website. This is Us Texas. Be inspired. And, all of those resources are coming to you in abundance.
Thank you. I'll take
You're
it.
declaring that. You're declaring that. So, and currently you guys have a team currently, right?
We have
That
a
is makes up This Is Us Texas.
we have a small team, yes.
Okay.
Looking
Okay.
to grow and expand. We need some workers, but it's hard to get people to volunteer. There's no money behind it yet. It's hard to get people to volunteer to put in the work, but a couple of us are because I'm dedicated, so I'm doing this all without any pay. So I still have to work my real estate to pay the bills, but every day I'm doing something toward This Is Us Texas.
That's a true testament of a visionary, right? You start with nothing. You start with no pay, but you see the vision and you know what it's going to be. And yeah, it does take a certain person, right, to capture the vision and take it and run with it. And yeah, I just believe that those people are coming, right? We're declaring those people are coming, and every resource and necessity is going to be fulfilled
Well, God,
for
God is
this to
God is
grow.
bringing those people to me. He really is. He's got to do it in his time. It's not my time, but when the time is right, it's going to all come together. And my vision and my motivate, my not my motivation, but my inspiration for knowing that it can be done is that my mother-in-law built a school over in Ghana, West Africa, 20 some years ago. No internet, no, she went over there, traveled like 20 times and built it from the ground up when there was no running water, no electricity, cutting the weeds down in the jungle, all this in
Wow.
a foreign country with just the
Yeah.
her church people and people that supported her mission. So they
Mm.
started off with, being a school for young girls to learn how to sew. We used to send over books and sewing machines and things like that, fabric. Now, as of maybe a couple of weeks ago, there's 450 students there.
Oh my goodness. That's awesome.
Yes.
That
So,
is awesome. What a legacy, right? What a legacy
and it's named
to
after
have.
her. It's Charlene Crossley International Ministry, CCIM. And I
Beautiful.
need to get her website up and going. Now she's got a project where she wants to get desks for all the students because they all don't have desks. And she's going to be working on that. So that's kind of giving her something to do and something to look forward to. So you got to have a project in life and a goal. Otherwise, what are you waking up for?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's to the point. You said she's 85 years old,
Yeah,
still working a vision, right? Still putting things into fruition, seeing things through and executing. That's so beautiful. And with the support of her family, right? Everybody's contributing. I heard you say you got to get her website up. So everybody's doing their part to help her see the vision through. And that's what it's about. And that's why we have these conversations. That's why I wanted to have you on to share this information because people need to know that there are opportunities available to be a part of something. And that it's a place where you're coming into a community that really supports your vision and wants to you to be successful, right? I think too much, especially on social media, we talk too much about what people won't do. Nobody ever supports me. Nobody ever likes. Nobody ever shares. Nah, all you need is one. Doesn't even matter. Like there are people who do. I always say the nobodies and the nevers. We have that really bad in our society. Nobody, never, and it's not true. There are people that are supporting us in who your community is, who God put before you. They're your people. You rock with them, and He'll help you get it done.
that's right.
So this has been awesome. Share again your contact information for anybody who wants to be a part of what you're doing with this co-housing community.
Sure, I'll give out my cell number. Text me though, because it'll reject you if you're not in my contacts. But my cell number is 773-678-1085. And that is a Chicago exchange, but I do live in Houston. And then the website is thisisustx.com. And my real estate website is my name, Vanda.Crossley at exprealty.com.
Perfect. And we'll get all of that in the description down below. Vanda, I thank you so much for joining me today, talking about co-housing. I'm very excited, very inspired, and I look forward to seeing the progress that you make.
Thank you. And I do have a YouTube channel for This Is Us too, kind of journaling our progress as well. And it is This Is Us TX on YouTube.
Thanks. Perfect. So go like and subscribe as well as this channel. Like and subscribe and share. We all need support. And so that's your way for free to support us as we journey on this journey. So, again, thank you so much, Vanda. I appreciate you.
Thank you. You gotta hit stop.